talking what's happening geopolitical and everything else, how is the kaolin market before and now? And obviously there's a big difference when we first had our conversation in 2019 and now. Can you give us a narrative of, you know, how what's changed and in what context?
Yeah, so the market has shifted 2 years. The market was strong before 2 years ago, and I'm probably on record as saying back then there was a shortage in supply developing, and especially in China, which was the biggest consumer for areas like high quality porcelain. Now that's got worse and worse, and now that gap has opened up even further. We've had some independent market experts who are working for us. They've been required for our bankable feasibility study stage, which is the banks need independent sign-off by marketing experts. Now they've identified a growing gap in supply there in China, which is looking like it's going to be up to 1.3 million tons shortage of supply. So there's a huge shortage developing there. That's just in that one country. And what a lot of things that are driving that are not just the fact that mines are closing down and the material is running out, but kaolin seems to be a mineral of the future. It's got all sorts of applications in renewables. So now the big growth area there, energy renewables. It's used in all those industrial applications. But it's also got some interesting developments in the decarbonisation of the world, which is an extremely hot topic now. And we're working very hard on the carbon capture aspect. We're quite unique there because we've got the halloysite, which enables us to do that. But there's also a big push for using kaolin to replace other very highly contaminating materials, like cement, for example. So what we're seeing now is a big growth in interest, big growth in demand, and there's new developments opening up now, new applications opening up now for kaolin that will dwarf the current situation. So we can see that there's a very, very bright future for kaolins, especially for our material, because we've got this extra functionality in our material. We've got very large resources of very high purity kaolin, so very reactive, very functional. But we've also got this halloysite that can be used in the carbon capture, the hydrogen technology, the water purification, batteries. And also, because our kaolin is so pure, we've been working on this potential opportunity in high purity alumina, which is another incredibly fast, rapid growth area, because the federal government has now just decided that is a critical battery mineral. So funding is being directed towards high purity alumina. And you see there's another company in this space that just got a $45 million grant to progress their high purity alumina opportunity. And so we're working on those. We've got quite an advanced stage of that now, and we've got something that we think is really quite a novel solution for high purity alumina. So there's a whole range of different applications here where kaolin is going to be in demand, and it's areas which are certainly of high interest around the whole world, and they're growing very, very rapidly.
When last time we spoke, you were talking about all these new products, and always, I mean, you guys have been sort of talking about that for a fair bit, and including like what you've just gone through. You know, when I look at it, my mind goes to, okay, you've got this DFS out of the way. You obviously can produce kaolin to those things, but I seem to get the idea that the market for kaolin or kaolinite or halloysite has opened up. Is that a fair description?
It is, yeah. It's there's no doubt that what I'm seeing now is I've been involved in kaolin for 35 years, and I've never seen such a high demand for it. And it's a demand in different areas. It's not the conventional areas. It's historically paper was always the biggest consumer of kaolin. Yeah. Paper has now fallen behind. It's still very large, but it's ceramics has gone past paper now even. But these new application areas and decarbonisation areas are looking like they will be way, way bigger than even those put together. Yeah. You know, we're talking about companies now in the world that are looking for tens of millions of tons of kaolin. So we're looking at something that's moving, you know, in the direction of something like iron ore, as in volumes of demand in the future. And that means that there's some very interesting opportunities opening up. and a company like us, Andromeda, who've potentially got some massive resources. Our exploration targets we've got are many hundreds of millions of tons. So looking forward, and the way things are going, that's only going to get a stronger and stronger demand. We can see that those resources we have rapidly can become very valuable.
What's the annual production, usage of kaolin now as we speak?
So it's around about 14 million tons a year, which includes unrefined and refined kaolin. So it's probably about 30 million tons of that is refined, and 10 million tons probably just ore that's used. Now there's applications developing where there's single customers in the world who want that sort of amount alone. So this is why I think I can see the whole of the dynamics of the kaolin world are changing. And Australia is in a very strong position. We have got some big resources of it. A lot of that's going to depend on the logistics, though, and the cost of production. So that's going to be an important factor. But when it's been used in applications where we have, for example, we've got carbon trading. If you can use a ton of kaolin to potentially remove a ton of CO2 or reduce a ton of CO2, and your CO2 price, some countries, is $100 or $200 a ton, then that makes that potential business very, very interesting. And that's growing around the whole world now. It's some countries are leading the way more than others, but there's no doubt that all the developed world will catch up pretty soon.